Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to week number 5 of the WBE. The Detroit Steelings are taking on my boy John, aka Pokemon, and the New Orleans Pelipers. You guys are excited for another matchup. Go on ahead and drop a like down below if you guys are new. Feel free to subscribe as well. Check out the link in the description. Get a pillow, get a hoodie, get a sticker. Grab it while it lasts. Merch is running over through the end of the season. And of course, if we do have any post-game shenanigans going on or post-season shenanigans going on, but I don't. Yeah, given where we're at right now, we're just gonna keep trying our best. So we're currently 0-4, going up against John and the New Orleans Pelipers. Definitely check out my boy John. The link will be in the description for his channel as well. And if you guys just want to skip right on ahead of the battle, I will have some text floating on the screen somewhere in post-production, or I will have a link in the description as always, kind of just time stamping where the battle begins. But we had an interesting week last week. I find myself getting too old to want to Theorymon anymore, but I feel like instead of rapid spinning rocks in the face of that Grimmsnarl, if it would have gotten a little bit more chip damage, you could have speed boosted and done some cool stuff. I don't know. It is what it is. It is what it is. But hopefully this week, as every week I've gone into, I'm confident we got the team that's going to pull it off this week. So you guys are going to start to see the teams appear on the screen right about now. John has the Gigantamax Corviknight, which does have the G-Max Wind Rage, I believe it is, which essentially is, instead of speed boosting for the G-Max Wind move, it is a defog of sorts. He does have Gyarados, a very versatile Pokemon, water flying type with Intimidate and Moxie. He's got Reuniclus, which is I have said throughout my league days, is a John Mon. That's a Mon that I do associate with John at this point. It's a very good Pokemon in Draft League. It's got 3 really great abilities in Overcoat, Magic Guard, and Regenerator. Hits like a truck. Great Trick Room abuser as well. He's got Galvantula, so he can bring his own webs, of course. Electric Bug Stab. Galvantula's probably coming. I'm confident I have played John enough at this point, and I know his playstyle that I can almost guarantee the 6 he's going to bring, but we'll get to that in a bit. He's got Goodra. Goodra's a thick dragon, thick dragon, commonly seen with an Assault Vest or a choice item. With Sap Sipper and Gooey are common abilities to be ran on that, giving him a grass immunity. Weavile hits like a truck, got access to close combat this gen, but lost knockoff and pursuit. So what you gain, you also lost. He does have the Aromatisse, which in my experience is a pretty solid fairy type for being the tier that it's in. I love Aromatisse. I had Aromatisse during Season 4 of the NPA. Fantastic Pokemon, great Trick Room setter and abuser as well. He's got Beware, which hits so hard. 125 base attack, coming off with things like Superpower and Facade and things like that. No return, thankfully, so that is something to keep in mind. But then he also has Golurk, which has 1 less attack stat than Beware, but still hits like a truck. With No Guard, Iron Fist as well. He can Earthquake, he can set up rocks. He can just hit really hard with Elemental Punches. And then his last Pokemon that he has on his team is Trevenant, which is a grass ghost type, so it does serve as a spin blocker for any of our spinners, and does provide as an okay check to some of our offensive mons. Some things to note about his team is that he only has 1 form of hazard removal in Corviknight, whether it be Defog or whether it be G-Max Wind Rage. And he only has the Golurk as a rocker, and he does have the Galvantula as a sticky web user, so he can Wish, Pass, and he can Heal Bell and things like that with Aromatisse. So the 6 I think he's going to bring. I think he needs Weavile, because Weavile has incredible priority and hits great priority in front of things like Sandaconda, in front of things like Komao as well. It hits super hard against Pokemon like Doublade. I think he's got to bring G-Max Corviknight, because you pretty much always bring your G-Max Mon every week. He's got to bring Aromatisse, otherwise I just click Clangorous Soul in front of something with Komao and sweep. He's got to bring he's brought Goodra to every match. He's gonna bring Goodra. You bring your dragons. You bring your dragons if you got them. I'm not, but Goodra's come to every match so far. I'd be shocked to see Goodra not show up this time, especially because it does serve as a special defensive pivot to some of my more offensive Pokemon. He's gonna bring Golurk. Golurk is there because otherwise Boltund just absolutely goes nutty all over his team. And then Galvantula is really one of the only Pokemon, unless he brings like an offensive Trevenant, Galvantula is one of the few Pokemon that can break Milotic. So those are the 6 I think he's bringing. Those are the 6 that I'm kind of preparing for in the back of my mind, knowing full well that he could bring any of the 10. But we'll go on ahead and start bringing down the 6 that we are bringing this week. First up, we have Hinata the Milotic. Milotic was on the bench last week. She was like, dude, what are you doing? You need a bulky water type. So we brought our bulky water type. Hinata's coming back. Flame Orb, Marvel Scale. Got an interesting set this week. We have an interesting set. I'm going to move this over here so I remember some certain things, but interesting set. We do have Substitute, Recover, Scald, and Ice Beam, 108 EVs in HP, 252 EVs in defense, 148 EVs in speed with a timid nature. The speed itself is enough to outpace a max speed Jolly Corviknight, or timid, I guess. But max speed, 252 invested with a nature in boosting speed for things like Corviknight. The reason for that being is once Pokemon G-Max, you really kind of need a way to kind of mess around with that. So Milotic's a decent Pokemon to do that because it has access to Recover. We can substitute in front of the Corviknight depending on the defensive spread. If he has Dynamax or not, we'll be able to take a hit, and then we can go on ahead and go from there and just start tossing off Scalds and Ice Beams and Recover in front of it and wear down the 3 turns of Dynamaxing. The rest of the spread put into defense and HP, just so we are able to take physical hits better from things like Gyarados. It did get access to Power Up this gen, so that is something to be careful of. Weavile, of course, Beware, and Golurk are also to take on some of those physical threats as well. Ice Beam hits the Trevenant, and Ice Beam hits the Goodra as well. Pretty much didn't need anything other than that. We can hit pretty hard. We got a base 100 special attack stat, so I really like Milotic this week. I think it's going to provide us a very good pivot to certain Pokemon. And I think the fact that we're faster than things like Beware, than things like Golurk, are going to prove to be beneficial for us based off of our investment. The next Pokemon we are bringing, I said if you got a G-Max, you better bring it. We are bringing back Shirley, the Gigantamax Sandaconda. Shirley is rocking her Yachi Berry with the Sand Spit ability. Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Stonage, and Fire Fang. 28 EVs in HP, 252 EVs in attack, 228 EVs in speed with an adamant nature. With this, we are outspeeding Golurk, speed creeping something else. So Golurk hits 117. We would want to hit this. The same thing if you heard my spiel last week about the Boltund. Golurk hits 117. If you want to outspeed Golurk, you hit 118. If you want to outspeed something speed creeping Golurk, you hit 119. And if you want to outspeed something that's speed creeping, you hit 120. So 228 EVs in speed puts us at 120. The rest in attack with an adamant nature to make sure we are hitting absolutely incredibly hard. Because he only has one form of hazard removal, I want to make sure that Corviknight's either gone or dying to a Fire Fang next turn, because being able to set up rocks against this team are going to be really good for things like Gyarados, things like Galvantula, things like Weavile as well, and just nice chip damage in general. Earthquake hits things like the Reuniclus, hits things like Galvantula, Goodra, Weavile, Aromatisse, and Golurk. Stone Edge hits the Gyarados for super effective damage, the Galvantula for super effective damage, the Weavile for super effective damage, hits Corviknight for neutral damage, and then Fire Fang is there for the Corviknight. It also does super effective damage to Galvantula, Weavile, and Trevenant. In our Gigantamax form, we are able to toss off our G-Max Sandblast, which does trap the opponent and put it in a Sand Tomb. That paired with our Sand Spit ability, being able to set up sand, so not only are they taking sand damage, they're taking sandstorm damage as well. That's some good chip. That's some good chip. Paired with Stealth Rocks, that's some good chip. And then Stone Edge being able to just super effectively hit things. If for whatever reason we don't have the sand up because of our Sand Spit ability, Max Rock Ball does set that sand. And then we do have Fire Fang as well. Fire Fang will turn off our sand, but it will hit things like the Corviknight and the Trevenant super effectively as well. I'm leading with this thing. The idea is that with the Yachi Berry, we're going to take a hit from Weavile. He's going to activate our Sand Spit. We're going to hit it with a G-Max Sandblast. And then he's going to be brought down, if it's like a Sash Weavile lead, he's going to be brought down to 1. Sand comes through and takes care of the Weavile. Boom, Weavile's gone. We ate our Yachi Berry. We're looking pretty good, pretty fine. So, that being said, the next Pokemon on our team is going to be Sox the Boltund. Sox is rocking the Expert Belt this week with the Strong Jaw ability. Thunderfang, Fire Fang, Crunch, and Play Rough. 100 EVs in HP, 252 EVs in attack, 156 EVs in speed with a Jolly Nature. With 156 EVs in speed with a Jolly Nature, we are outspeeding Galvantula by 1 point. We cannot outspeed Weavile. Weavile is just faster than us. Oh, and another thing, he does need to bring Weavile because it's the only thing faster, not scarfing, than our Ribombee. So that is something else to note. Also, if Turtonator were to smash to +2, Jolly Weavile is the only thing that can outspeed a natural. So that is that was another reason why Weavile needed to show up. But anyways, 156 EVs in speed with a Jolly Nature. We outspeed Galvantula. 100 EVs in HP. We're pretty frail as it is. It doesn't really matter where we tech those in HP's defense or special defense, in my opinion. Then 252 EVs in attack just to give us the most bang for our buck. Thunderfang is hitting the Corviknight. It is hitting the Gyarados. We've got Fire Fang for things like Galvantula. for things like Weavile, for things like Fluffy Beware, for things like Trevenant. We've got Crunch for things like Golurk, for things like Trevenant as well. And then we do have the Play Rough for things like Goodra as well. It also does super effective damage to Weavile and Beware, of course. But Play Rough is there for those two Pokemon. Goodra can take a hit. Goodra can take a hit, that's for sure. So we want to be able to make sure that we are doing as much damage output as possible to that thing. Hopefully, if we can get it up, I'd like to get Gmax Sandaconda up against the Goodra just so we deal with that. But that'll be something for a later date. But pretty standard Boltund set this week. Expert Belt, all that fun stuff. The next Pokemon we're bringing, I really like this Pokemon this week. It's almost similar to last week in a sense, but we're bringing back Sharp Dress, the Mr. Mime. Every girl's crazy about a Sharp Dress Mime. He's rocking heavy duty boots with Screen Cleaner. He can run some screens if he chooses to with Pokemon like Aromatisse and also Reuniclus, I believe. No, Aromatisse gets them. I don't recall if Reuniclus does, but I know he does. He can bring screens. So we're bringing Screen Cleaner. Ice Body didn't really make sense, neither did Vital Spirit. Rapid Spin is going to be able to clear away rocks if the Golurk does set them. Freeze Dry is one-shotting most variants of Gyarados, unless it's Yachi Berry or Assault Vest. Psychic is there. Psychic is going to be doing some good damage to things like the Beware, essentially. And then of course, and then the last move we have is Focus Blast. I really didn't want to bring Focus Blast this week, but we went back and forth, this and that and the other, and Focus Blast is the only move. There's certain scenarios where Weavile comes in against this thing and lives. The Focus Blast makes sure it does not live 100% of the time. 70% of the time it doesn't live. That's if we hit it. So the EV spread that we have 44 in defense, 252 special attack, 212 speed with a modest nature. The 44 EVs in defense, surprisingly enough, we actually are able to take a hit from a +1 Gyarados from full, turn around and OHKO with Freeze Dry. So if he does bring like Dragonlance Gyarados, he's able to get +1 and knock something out. As long as he's not Dragonlance Moxie, we're okay, because we can take a hit from we can take a +1 Crunch from Gyarados. He's not Life Orb or Black Glasses or Expert Belt or something like that. We can take a +1 Crunch, turn around and one-shot it with Freeze Dry. Waterfall flinches may happen, but that is the risk we are going to play. 212 EVs in speed with the current nature. We are able to outspeed Gyarados. If we get a rapid spin-off, we're faster than the entire team, as well as something like a Scarf Gyarados as well. Again, Focus Blast. If we one-shot the Weavile 70% of the time, and that 70% is what we connect. So we're going to see how Mr. Mime does. I really like this set. I really like this Pokemon in general. I'm really glad that we were able to pick it up. The next Pokemon we're bringing on the team, we have Nezuko the Ribombee. Nezuko is rocking her choice specs with the Shield Dust ability. Bug Buzz, Moonblast, Quiver Dance, and Switcheroo. 124 EVs in HP, 252 EVs in special attack, 132 EVs in speed with a timid nature. We can't outspeed Weavile, unfortunately. He needs to bring Weavile. It is 1 point faster than us. Weavile will be there 100%. And he's going to run max speed Jolly to make sure that he can outspeed variants of Ribombee. So we're outspeeding the next fastest thing with Galvantula. The Dual Stab just kind of does things to his team. Once we get rid of Corviknight, the Dual Stab just kind of does stuff to his team. And if we can switcheroo something, a choice specs that doesn't want it, something like Golurk, something like Beware, Trevenant, I was going to say Weavile, but Weavile still hurts really bad. If we can switcheroo away that choice specs and start quiver dancing on something, that puts us in a better position, because then we still have the damage output of choice specs, but now we're also fast and everything, and we can switch out between Bug Buzz and Moonblast. But either in that, outside of that, the Dual Stab just kind of rips this team apart once we get rid of Corviknight. I really do like this Pokemon. I'm hoping we can switcheroo something and get some quiver dance action going on. The last Pokemon on the team, a similar set to last week, and I really think this set is going to work this week. He says hesitantly, but the only reason I say that is because his dark type Pokemon, so his ground type Pokemon, it can hit really hard, but they can hit really hard physically. I'm bringing back Riot the Doublade. The set's going to be on screen. His ground type Pokemon can hit really hard physically. We can take physical hits for this thing. His dark type Pokemon can hit physically. He has no knockoff users to my knowledge, to my immediate knowledge. I did some research. I don't believe he has knockoff users. So we don't like things like Life Orb Thunder from Galvantula. We don't like Choice Scarf, Choice Specs, Fire Blast from Goodra. But he does not have a fire type. The one counter to this thing is, well, I suppose anything hitting us for super effective boosting damage is going to be a problem, but We are built to take on most physical hits and some special hits as well. We are bringing Rest, Sleep Talk, Swords Dance, and Shadow Claw. The one thing about this is that if the Beware is still around, we cannot touch it. We literally cannot touch it. That being said, and I wish No Guard would work like that to where I can hit a normal type Pokemon with Ghost moves, but no, it is what it is. So we can take hits from Gyarados. We can kind of boost up alongside it to prevent that it's not a Dragon Dancing set. We are faster than the Reuniclus naturally. We are faster than things like Aromatisse naturally, so we can kind of take hits from those. If we have a Swords Dance up, we'll be able to go on ahead and toss off a big, meaty Shadow Claw into either of those things. Beware is really the only Pokemon that I really am. If it's around, man, it's just gonna hurt. It's just gonna. It's not even gonna hurt. We just can't do anything against it. So if it comes up a 1v1 between Doublade and Beware, I literally have to forfeit unless I PP stall out his Pokemon. Which at this point I need a win. So I'm apologizing in advance, but that's what it comes down to. But 244. Let me pull up the actual calcs here that I ran for this. I know I tossed them in the front office chat. With this Doublade spread, we are 3-hit KO'd by Weavile Throat Chop, 3-hit KO'd by +1 Gyarados Earthquake. We're 2-hit KO'd by Modest Life Orb Reuniclus Shadow Ball, 2-hit KO'd by Galvantula Thunder, 2-hit KO by Goodra Fire Blast. So those moves, again, 49 base special defense. Like, what are we really going to do with it? There's not much we can do. So those Pokemon, we need to have a little bit more oomph ready. We need to be able to hit back or have them gone out of there. We are 3-hit KO'd by Banded Beware Shadow Claw. We are 3-hit KO'd by Adamant Golurk EQ. We are 3-hit KO'd by Banded Trevenant Shadow Claw. So we take all of our physical hits. We need to wear down and get rid of some of his special mons that could hit us for super effective damage, especially with No Guard. Goodra doesn't have to worry about missing Fire Blast against us. That's the horrible part. So that's the team for this week. I am really confident going into this. We've got some bulk, we've got some damage output, and we've got some shenanigans up our sleeves. So I love shenanigans. I love bulk. I love having a well-balanced team. You guys are excited. Again, please be sure to leave a like on the video, and we are going to go on ahead and hop right into the battle. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to week number 5 of the WBE. The Detroit Steelers are taking on my man John, a.k.a. PokeMen, a.k.a. PokeMEN7, and the New Orleans Pelipers. You guys are skipped to this point. You guys don't know the team. Those are the 6 that I'm bringing. Defensive, Milata, Yachi Berry, Stealth Rock, 3 attack, Gigantamax, Anaconda, Expert Belt, Boltund, 4 attacks, Mr. Mime, Specs Ribombi, and Rest Talk, Shadow Claw, Swords Dance, Doublade. You guys see the 6 I think he's bringing: Weavile, Gigantamax, Corviknight, Aromatisse, Goodra, Golurk, and Galvantula. I almost called it a Boltund. That's not a Boltund. You guys are excited? Leave a like. Don't forget, pick up your merch while supplies last. We're going to go on ahead and start up the battle, and we'll be right back. All right, here we are. My opponent is bringing a little bit of a different team than I anticipated. So we do see some Pokemon that I did not expect. We do see Weavile. We do see Goodra. We do see Gigantamax, Corviknight. We do not see Aromatisse. And instead, we see the Gyarados, question mark. I don't know why I'm question marking. We do see Goodra. We do not see Golurk, but instead we see Reuniclus. So let's go on ahead and get that updated here. That's a big Reuniclus. Reuniclus, you're not that big, and you're shiny. I hope you're shiny. We're going to find out if you're shiny. So my plan here, his hazard removal includes defogging on Corviknight. So we are going to go on ahead and lead off with Shirley the Sanaconda and go from there. Good to see Gyarados came through, because I am hoping that we're going to be able to do some cool stuff with our Mr. Mime. We're going to see how that goes. So got everything good to go. I'm excited, man. We're going up against that John guy. If you guys have not checked out John's channel, definitely go check out John's channel. John's one of my longest and closest friends in YouTube. I am very excited to be battling him. I apologize in advance if this is a little bit of a choppy video. However, this is the lead matchup that I wanted. This is the lead matchup that I wanted. So, we're going to take a lot of damage. However, I am going to Dynamax. I'm going to Dynamax. And I believe go for the max Rockfall here. That is the game plan right now. He might have this thing around to do some stuff to me, but we're going to see what exactly wants to happen here. Weavile stays in. All right, this is the lead matchup that I wanted right here. This is what I wanted right here. He is leading off, Dynamaxing right out the gate, and taking this monster down. Because we're Yachi Berry. We're going to eat a Banded Icicle Crash. We can't be flinched. So we are looking good. There's the Icicle Crash. We do pop the Yachi Berry. And that is going to be doing a little bit of damage. Sand Spit does activate, so that is what it is. If he is Sash Weavile, we have not seen a Life Orb. So we're going to be able to go for the Max Rockfall, which should bring him down to a Sash, followed by Sand Spit. And we're going to pick up the KO on Weavile. Turn 1. Perfect. It was a crit. The crit did not matter. And Ron Weasley goes down. That is one big threat to the Doublade out of the way. Dies to Sandaconda, Max Rockfall. So I would have to assume that his own Gigantamax Pokemon would want to come out now. Or something of the sort. I'm curious. I would have to assume Gigantamax Corviknight comes out now. I would assume. And I just realized Boltund goes nutty in this matchup. Absolutely nutso in this matchup. Which I'm okay with. Here comes Lamar Jackson, which is going to be, okay, the Gigantamax Corviknight. Perfect. So, I'm going to go on ahead and go for the Max Flare. We're going to see just how much damage this does. Should be doing quite a bit. Should be doing quite a bit. I would assume. I would assume it's going to do quite a bit. I'm going to keep an eye on my timer this time, too. We're leading off good. Surly picking up the first KO of the match, turn 1. The Yachi Berry tech did come into play. He is also going to Gigantamax his Corviknight, which is fine by me. That's a Master Ball. We're going to go on ahead and hit this thing with a Max Flare. I love Gigantamax Corviknight. You guys already know I love Gigantamax Corviknight. This pains me to hurt this thing, so let's go on ahead and go for it. If memory serves, we are actually not faster than this thing if it is offensive. He does have the Max Guard. Okay, so my opponent is going to be able to stall out my moves. So he can't roost or anything like that, so I'm going to go on ahead and just go for another Max Flare. We are faster, so he's a defensive set. We're going to get rid of our own sand. That did nothing. That is so defensive, it is not even funny. Now, I anticipate he's going to go for another Max Guard on the following turn. I would assume. Here comes the G-Max Wind Rage. That is going to tickle. I like keeping Shirley around for the Galvantula. I do think that he is going to go for another one. That leftovers? We do see leftovers on the Corviknight. Perfect. Actually, he may not. He may not go for anything like that. What I want to do here... He can just go for another G-Max Wind Rage. Can't he? He certainly could. Which would remove my hazard. So let's keep this thing around. Let's go out into Hinata. Shirley's putting in work, but let's take back out and go out into Hinata, because once this thing is down, we can get our rocks up, which will help us out. Here comes another G-Max Wind Rage. We are not burnt yet, so that is going to tickle. We are going to get buffeted by the Sandstorm, and now our Flame Orb is going to activate. Now our defense is +1. We're going to be able to take on that Gyarados just a little bit better. And now I could certainly go for a substitute here. I'm just going to recover. We burnt out his Gigantamax. He stays in. He sees that we're faster, which naturally we are, so that might not be too much of a surprise to him. But let's see. He might have Roost as well. He does have Bulk Up. So we do see bulk up here. And that's fine because we're going to be able to toss off some Scalds here as well. We're going to be able to toss off some Scalds, which I am fine with. Let's go on ahead and hit him up with that. Because the one bulk up should not matter too much, frankly. Especially if we are able to burn this thing with a Scald here. Yeah, we're going to be able to do some nice damage there. There's the Brave Bird that comes off, so he's going to be taking some chip damage from that. We're going to take a little bit of damage as well. But, of course, we are going to be a little bit faster. And I believe we still have a little bit of turns to stand left. I wouldn't be surprised if he has Roost as well. I would not be surprised if he does have Roost. I'm going to take this opportunity and go for a substitute here. He goes for the Roost. Okay, so we've seen Bulk Up, Brave Bird, Roost. Now he is at full. Sandstorm goes away, so that's less damage that we need to take. We're going to take a little bit from our burn here, which is fine, because we will be able to recover this turn as he goes and gets himself in some heaping trouble. We're just gonna recover. We're just gonna sit in front of this thing. We're gonna fish for burns and do what Milotic does best, frankly, because that is my answer to Corviknight. There's another bulk up. Okay. So we're still behind a sub. Scald's still doing the same amount of damage to this thing, even if he is +2. Even if he is +2. Go on and toss off another Scald here. We'll get a burn eventually. It's a 30% chance. There it is. All right. So, Corviknight's pretty much done as far as I'm concerned. Bulk Up, Brave Bird, Roost. Maybe Steel Move. I'd have to anticipate. And there he goes, taking a little bit more damage. He is going to get the... oh, and he actually, a +2 with the burn does not break our sub, which is fantastic. So we're going to be able to toss off another Scald here. I actually feel like it may be better to go for a recover. Because I don't want to be too low if Galvantula comes in and clicks Bug Buzz, which does go through a substitute. And there's the Roost on his part as well. So I really do think it's Bulk Up, Roost, Dual Stab, I would assume. And we do know here, if we can get him around to where he's low enough, I don't know if his last move would be Defog. Frankly. And now we click Scald. We're going to get some big boy damage off on this thing. He can keep going for Brave Birds. He goes for Bulk Up again. Okay. At some point, he's got to realize that this Bulk Up is not going to be doing too much. It might be in his better interest to bring in something like Galvantula, but... You know, between all the roosting and the bulking up, the most he can get to is +2. As far as... well, technically, he can get to +6, which is +3. So, he can get to +3 eventually, but we're going to see what happens first. His roosting or my scalding. We can also bring back in Sandaconda at some point here to go for to go for Stealth Rocks, of course, if we can plan that accordingly. Because if all his moves are Bulk Up, Brave Bird, Roost, Blank, with a little bit of residual, with a little bit of some damage behind it, Doublade is putting in a lot of work this matchup, if I'm being completely honest with you. If I'm being completely honest. So another Bulk Up could come off here. I also do like the idea. I don't know how much Ribombee has for us, but we could switcheroo Choice Specs to this thing to get it out of the way. We could do that. I do like Ribombee this matchup. And especially now that the Weavile's gone. I do like that quite a bit. So if we can put him in a position where he has to roost, that's fine by me. He goes for another Bulk Up. I think now he would probably roost. No, he's got plenty of opportunities to roost. We can just go for this. He can set up all the way. Fine by me. Did he Brave Bird here? I think he's just going to set up all the way. I'm going to Scald again. I want to get an idea for when he feels comfortable going for Roost. If I Scald this turn and he doesn't Roost, I go right Bombi next turn to switcheroo it. But I think now is when he would Roost, actually. Okay. We got to read that a little bit better. So when he's about half, that's when he's going to go for a Roost. It's fine by me. So he can afford to Brave Bird. He can afford to do a few things in this situation. Unfortunately, we're still taking burn damage, but that's fine. So is he. And eventually, he's going to run out of Roosts. I mean, I can toss off Scalds and Recovers all day. But let's see if he Roosts here. That was a crit. So he does need to Roost next turn. He does need to Roost next turn. Especially because of this crit. Actually, depending on the amount of damage that this substitute does. Alright, let's see where he's at. He's not in range of another Scald, so he does need to go for Roost. I like Choice Specs Bug Buzz for breaking Reuniclus, but I also still do have Crunch on... I still have Crunch. Alright, let's go out. I'm going to take this opportunity to go on a Nezuko here. We're going to click Switcheroo. All right, perfect. He goes for the Roost. So he might think I'm trying to go for Sticky Webs or something like that. Maybe. But I do think clicking Trick right now is going to be our best bet. We'll switcheroo, technically. Let's go for it. We get some leftovers. He gets Choice Specs. Brave Bird's going to take us down. There it is. Okay. That's fine, though, because now that he's locked into Brave Bird, I'm feeling much better. Dies to Orvin Knight, Brave Bird. All right. And now we can go back out into Hinata. And I think I'm just going to click Substitute in front of this thing. Does his Brave Bird break my sub from where he's at now? Let's find out. It does break my sub from where he's at. Okay, that's fine. We can recover off some of this damage, though. I'm going to try to recover off some of this damage. I still don't think... What is he? +3? +4? Going to be a little stally right now. Bear with me. Oh, yeah. We're eating those. We're fine. I'm going to recover one more time to be out of range. But we're fine against this thing. I'll recover right here so we're out of range. Then we can go for a Scald or something. We also do have the opportunity to go out into... Doublade and try to do some things. Which I kind of like that idea, actually. This is going to be as healthy as we can get right now. Let's go out into Doublade. He goes for Brave Bird. That should not be doing that much. Oh, yeah, we're fine. We are very fine. We can just go for a Swords Dance right here. We can just go for a Swords Dance right here. See Brave Birds again. That's fine. I think to recoil and burn, he's dead this turn anyways. So we'll see what picks it up. Recoil or burn. Looks like it's going to be burn. So Milotic's going to pick up an indirect KO there. All right. So we've got a +2 Doublade on the field. We've got a +2 Doublade on the field. Depending on what wants to come in, we can probably take it pretty well. We took a little bit of chip damage. I'm pretty comfortable with my calcs for this thing. He goes down to Gooby-Doo, which is the Goodra. Now then. If this thing is choice specs. This thing is choice specs, we die. If he has Fire Blast and he has max special attack, we die. I do want to scout and see if he has the Fire Blast. So with that... Fire Blast max special attack does 73 to 87. We're at 78. It's a roll in his favor, actually, if he's max special attack. So let's go out into Hinata here. Let's go out into Hinata and see what this thing has. There's the Fire Blast. And he does miss the Fire Blast as well. So that is a free switch into Hinata here. And I am going to click Recover. And he withdraws. Probably to go out into Galvantula. Shelob. Here's the Galvantula. Okay, cool. So, we don't really have too much of a switch into this thing, if I'm being honest. He certainly could go for an Energy Ball or something like that if he predicts Sandaconda. I actually feel like we can take one, I want to say. Thunder puts us down. But I do like damage off on this thing. So I'm just going to click Scald here. As he sets up Sticky Webs. Okay. That's fine. I've got Heavy Duty Boots Mime with Rapid Spin. I've got no problem with that. Give me some damage. And we snag a burn on this thing as well. So that means we're going to be able to see a KO. If he's not Life Orb, we're looking pretty good to take down this Pokemon right here. Let's go ahead and Scald one more time. He's got the Compoundized Thunder. We'll see. There's the Thunder. If he's Life Orb, we're dead. Is he Life Orb or is that a crit? That was not... Wow. Maybe that wasn't even... Maybe that was just modest? Weird. Okay. So, Milotic goes down. Dies to Galvantula. Thunder. So, I assume we died to a modest Bug Buzz with our Mr. Mime. No, he's not Life Orb. Maybe he's just Modest. Yeah, Modest puts us down as well. We can certainly go back out into Shirley. Get some Sand up. You can also get Rocks up as well. He doesn't have the Energy Ball for Shirley. Let's just go for a Fire Fang in case he doesn't have the Energy Ball. He does have the Energy Ball as well. That is going to be a dead Sandaconda. Dies to Galvantula. Energy Ball. Okay. So now he's going to take some Sand and he's going to take some Burn. I do believe Boltund should be able to take one. Let's go on ahead out into Boltund here. Going ahead and do that. Crunch is a fairly neutral play, if I'm being honest. Crunch will take this thing down. He can go for an Energy Ball here. He's going to connect. That's going to be doing a little over half. We're going to take down the Galvantula. So he doesn't know what we are yet. He does not know what we are. He could certainly think we're banded. Because that's all I've brought. The only match I brought him to was banded, so... I'm worried about this thing right here. Here's what I was worried about. I'm going to click Thunderfang and hope he thinks it's an opportunity to Dragon Dance in front of me. There's the Earthquake from Gyarados. There's the Earthquake from Gyarados. And he is Moxie. So we didn't see an item. We did not see an item. So I'm going to go out into my Mr. Mime here, which is Heavy Duty Boots. We are faster than Gyarados if he is not Choice Scarf. Then if he's Choice Scarf, we take a +1 hit. And I'm going to click Freeze Dry. He withdraws. We're going to get some good damage off on an Assault Vest Goodra. I'm just going to go for another Freeze Dry here. I think I have to. I think I have to go for Freeze Dries here. Just to try to break this thing. We've seen the Fire Blast. If he hits me with the Fire Blast, that's tough. That is very tough. He withdraws, actually. And he goes out into Blobby. Okay. So we're going to be able to get a Freeze Dry off on Blobby here. That is not going to be doing a lot of damage. We do see leftovers on Blobby as well. So, I think now I can go out into Doublade here. He's not Life Orb. Could be Calm Mind. Very well could be Calm Mind. Do get caught in our Sticky Web. And there's Acid Armor. Okay. There's Acid Armor. So we are in a position where we need to probably go for Rest, I believe. I believe we rest here. There's another Acid Armor. So he's +4. So we're going to try to do some shenanigans here. Doublade still may have it, depending on. Let's see what we can do. It's going to come down to some Sleep Talk turns. And he's Calm Mind as well. That's the last thing I wanted to see. Because I think this set wins depending on what he's got. I feel like he's got to have Shadow Ball for this thing. We do get a Swords Dance. Do get a Swords Dance. I gotta go for another Sleep Talk. That was our first turn. This is our second turn of Rest. Depending on his spread, he may 2-hit KO me right now, which may be the game. So I'm curious about what he's got to have Shadow Ball, man. This is a fool's errand. This is a fool's errand. He's +2 right now, even if he's uninvested. Even if he is uninvested. We do get another Swords Dance. So we are at a good amount of We're doing good. Shadow Ball has a chance to knock us out, unfortunately. We need like the world's biggest crit oh my god. We need like the world's biggest crit Shadow Claw right here in order to win. Stored power. Wait, he might not have it. Or he can still one-shot me with stored power. Holy hell. Wow, okay. So yeah, he's got stored power. So that's kind of all she wrote there. I'm gonna go for another Shadow Claw here, but I can't beat that unless I freeze this with Freeze Dry. Wow, great set. Oh, we were in such a good spot. Where did we go wrong? Dies to Reuniclus, stored power. Great set. I'm mad. We were in such a good spot too. All right, I can still freeze. I can still freeze with Freeze Dryer. Don't get me wrong. I can still freeze things. It's going to involve a lot of luck on our part and a lot of mad people if I pull this off. But I'm going to click Freeze Dry, and there's some toes crossed right now. Nope, there it is. And I think that's game, right? Yeah, I don't have even... Yeah. Goodbye. All right, that is all... she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. That is all she wrote. That's a great set. That is a great set. Dies to Reuniclus, stored power. Well, GG to my man John. I love that game. That was a great game. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you guys have, show some love on that like button down below. If you guys are new, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to check out my man John. Link to his channel will be in the description, so you can go check out the side of his battle as well. All that being said, I want to remind you guys to be great and do great, and I'll see you on the next video. Later.